Good morning, everyone. I'm David Dahash, your host of the Whole Body Detox Show from Living Waters Wellness Center. Living Waters Wellness Center is Idaho's largest colon hydrotherapy center and known for its 10-day cleanse and healing retreat. Each week, we provide you the necessary education and tools to detox and heal the body following the 4 natural laws of healing. To learn more details about the 4 natural laws of healing, go to livingwaterscleanse.com and click on the link for Natural Laws of Healing. If you happen to miss any parts of this show or want to re-listen to certain segments, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Whole Body Detox Show, which is found on any national platform. Or you can go to www.wholebodydetoxshow.com. Today's show, we're going to be talking with Savvy Vargas, who shared with us the amazing healing benefits of a small silver dollar sized patch called an X39 stem cell patch, activation patch, back on March 11th, episode number 67. You want to check that episode out. To learn more about that patch, go to your podcast app, type in Whole Body Detox Show, or simply go to wholebodydetoxshow.com, scroll down to number 67, and be sure to subscribe and to our channel. And if you like it, leave a review. To get a chance to get a sample of these miraculous patches, go to stemcellpatch.net, stemcellpatch.net. Now, Savvy Vargas is one of those people you just love studying health. Anytime I see him at a coffee shop, he has a book on health that he's reading, highlighting, and marking up. I met Savvy many years ago when he was a personal trainer. Then he came through our 10-day healing retreat, and we've been friends ever since. And I would like to think that, Savvy, you're still alive because of me. But welcome to the show.
Hey, you're a big part of it because, hey, we know that if you don't take the garbage out, right, you got to take that garbage out, which includes metals, plastics, parasites. Yes, people in America get parasites too, right, David?
No, they do. You see them come out in buckets down here.
Get all that stuff out, and then maybe you can repair tissue, which is what we do. Me too. I'm in your world. You know, I became a detox specialist, right? And then a iridologist, where you read the eye, and that's a new thing I'm doing now, is to patch people. Well, clean them up, right? Patch them. And then see if there's a difference happening in that eye month after month after month. It's a very brilliant art of reading the eyeball. But yeah, I give you a lot of credit on cleaning up that liver and that colon, right? And that's what encouraged me to go on and study detoxification even more.
Well, that's awesome. That's what we love about the clients that come down here, because we do give them a lot of value, a lot of education. I mean, we've had doctors come to the cleanse going, I didn't know this, I didn't know that, I didn't know this. So yeah, we're all about education, because knowledge is power. And when you have that knowledge, you have the ability to heal your body. Naturally, you just need a little coaching, a little help, and that's what we provide. So Savvy, back in episode number 67.
Yeah,
we talked a lot about the stem cell activating patch. Let's brief them. We're going to talk about another patch today as well.
Yeah.
And what we can do, and guys, if you're listening, anytime to the show, we've had 5 episodes that I can recall. We've been talking about 5G a lot and the damages to the body. And so we got a solution that can help mitigate potentially the damage to your body by this power. But before we get there, we got to go back and let's talk about the stem cell activation patch. Because the beauty of this patch is that you don't have to go have surgery. You can turn on your body's own mechanism. Savvy, let's tell us about that.
On the X39, yeah.
Yes.
So interestingly enough, 2 weeks ago, I was in Orlando, Florida at a conference where I got to meet the inventor of these patches. Prior to meeting him in person 2 weeks ago, I interviewed him along with Dr. John Herman, and I interviewed him December of 2020. And during that interview process, I had on my mind radiation pollution, 5G, right? And of course, I nicknamed you the G-Man because you are the crusader, patriot, warrior against radiation pollution in this valley, right? Well, in interviewing him, David Schmidt, I asked him a couple of things. One, the X39 stem cell activation patch regenerates tissue, right? And the way it does that is when you put it on the body, the crystal matrix in the center of the patch is a reflection device. So it takes the body's own light and reflects it back into itself, like a trampoline, right? So your light's coming out of your body, hits the matrix, and is reflected back in. But with the new wavelength built around the geometry of the matrix, which is built from organic crystals, right? So what it does is it elevates GHK copper peptides, which is a tripeptide, 3 amino acids bound with copper. And that alone, just the GHK copper peptides alone, there's a whole book written on the benefits of that. Then you get epigenetic up or down regulation of about 4,100 genes. Then you get stem cell activation. And we like to think of stem cells as contractors, as we talked about before. Now we have contractors in our blood running around our body, looking for inflammation, and then they go to work repairing tissue in an order of priority. So if you have a bad knee, but you have a worse liver or spleen, your body in a pecking order of priority might go to work on that liver or spleen first before that bad knee. And that's why when people think about repairing tissue, you can't think like in the world of drugs in a week or 2 weeks, I'm all better. You have to think in terms of 2 years, 2 years to repair tissue. But we're going to save a fortune on surgeries, drugs, etc., all the stuff the allopaths do, chemo, radiations, and all this stuff. One knee replacement surgery, one, average between 30 and 50 grand, right? So if I went 40 grand on a knee replacement in the middle, I can get 33 years of X39 for one fake knee. And if the one knee is going bad, guess what the other knee's probably doing? Going bad too, or the hip or the back, etc. So with David Schmidt, when I interviewed him, I said, David, does a stem cell injection elevate GHK copper peptides? No, they do not. Huh. So then it doesn't regulate 4,100 genomes. No, they do not. Huh. And it's stem cells from a foreign source, as in placenta. So what we have with a patch, using our own light to heal ourselves, I get more than an injection at 5 to 7 grand, even 10 grand for IV drip. So a light frequency photobiomodulation patch does more than the shot for pennies on the dollar. That's why these are doing so well with people, because we have like 2,600 recorded before and after live testimonials from people with very bad health challenges, right? Now, at that same interview with David, after confirming that this patch does more than a stem cell shot, I asked him about 5G radiation pollution, because 5G is the worst of all. But you still have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, the laptop, the phone, the desktop. You're swimming in it. And I asked him, David, is it possible you could come out with some kind of a patch to help us with 5G radiation pollution? And he goes, all right, I'm going to make your day, he says. He said, now I'm not going to give away anything right now. I'm just telling you that God, because this is a fellow who believes in a designer, a creator, right? He says, I'm giving the credit to God, but he did something in our skin. The creator put something in our skin that if I can figure it out, I could put a patch on our skin and protect us from radiation pollution. Well, that was in December of 2020. And let's see, I don't remember exactly the release date, but I think it was November 2021. He put out the X39 patch. Also a stem cell activation patch, but specific to the brain, bone density, muscle mass, regardless of age. You could be 88 years old and rebuild muscle and bone density with stem cells. But most importantly, protect your body, especially the brain, from radiation pollution, including 5G. Now, who better than the G-Man himself to know that and spread that around the world, okay? Because look, it looks just like all the other ones do. The beauty's in the matrix, crystal matrix, sacred geometry, Stanley Burroughs, if we remember his studies, color therapy, right? You put on your Band-Aid. You don't have to drink anything that tastes bad. You don't have to smell anything that doesn't smell good, right? We don't have to deal with any of that. If you can put on a Band-Aid, well, I got you covered. So you should be wearing this every single day forever until we get rid of this stuff, okay? So that's one thing. There are other things too that I know about to protect us from 5G, like this particular thing, but this is a lot more difficult to deal with than a patch, right? Now I have both in my life. I have both. This costs like $1,100. And I take this with me in the car and into the airplane and on the cruise ship or in the hotel room. I have it, but I'm also wearing this all the time. So that is where we're at as regards trying to help ourselves until we can shut down this stuff, because I'm pretty sure I can live without having my game load or a movie load in less than a minute or whatever the reasoning is behind 5G. But in the world that I live in, I'm pretty sure that chronic fatigue, lack of oxygen into the lungs, brain fog, sleep issues, anxiety issues. There's a lot of stuff attached to this 5G that a lot of people don't know about, which is why we do shows like this.
Right. Yeah, we see that. And you know what's beautiful about this is we preach the 4 natural laws. What's the 4 natural laws? Well, as I mentioned, go to livingwaterscleanse.com, watch the webinar, I go into great detail. But basically, 1, you clean the colon. 2, you clean the small intestine. You got 36 feet of pipe. You got to get that cleaned out. Every organ in your body attaches to those organs, right? More neurons in your gut than your spinal column. Number 3, you clean the blood. How do you clean the blood? Well, you clean the liver. Number 4, and that's where this fits, is getting the perfect nutrition. And what we've experienced and what I've witnessed and what I love about it is this fits number 4, because as you mentioned, we're taking the contractors, we're taking your nutrition, whether you're getting it from supplements and food, hopefully you're doing both, and then taking that, it's like a contractor going out to a job site, he wants to put up a roof, but he's got no nail gun, he's got no nails, and he's got no asphalt shingles, right? He's worthless. And that's what happens to us in our body. If you're skipping the 4th natural law, if you're not getting the perfect nutrition and you're not getting it absorbed into the body, you're missing the whole point of doing any detox, any cleanse. And I've seen so many people, well, I did a water fast or I did a juice fast. And well, that's all great. But the problem is your organs are still constipated and you're basically pooping within yourself, because the average person is packing 12 to 15 pounds of just old poop. Mm-hmm. That's average. Mm-hmm. You've seen people packing 50 pounds, mm-hmm. unbelievably. But when we get that cleaned out, the body can respond. I mean, the body's pretty miraculous. I mean, think about the cells in the gut lining turn over every 5 days. Mm-hmm. 5 days.
Let me mention this too, because you got me fired up now with this. Thomas Cowan. Everybody needs to look up the work of Thomas Cowan, Gerald Pollack, and you're going to see how 5G. In fact, these particular doctors, these are doctors. Thomas Cowan is a doctor. He does not, I'll just say it, he does not believe in COVID at all. He says all that science is completely fake. It's all fake. You know, they put it out there in order to sell vaccinations. What is real is 5G radiation pollution. That will make you sick with almost the same symptoms. Okay, so the human body is not even built to take that kind of radiation. So if they wanted to, it could even flip and become like a weapon, give you chronic fatigue instantly, which is why your work of not having a tower 20 feet from my house is a big deal. And when you start studying Thomas Cowan's work and he talks about how important the water in your body is. You need to have structured water in your body, and that kind of radiation messes with your vibrations. So it messes with your electro frequency in your body. It almost takes your water and like slightly is microwaving the water in your body, including the cytoplasm inside the cell. So 5G is a problem to the water and the vibration of the cells of your body. Hence, something like an X39 and other things, everything you can do, wrapping your phone with these type of Defender Shield wraps, everything you can do to protect yourself from this stuff. Because from what I've studied, even with Dr. Robert Young, who was interviewed by Sasha Stone for an hour, by the end of that episode, you're like, the number one problem we are facing is radiation pollution, because it screws with the frequency in your body, the cells, and your water. So everybody's going to learn, including the inventor of these patches, which is now working on what he calls age reversal water, is going to be the water in your body, because you're mostly water and the earth is mostly water, right? And so highlighting what you just said about being nutrified, minerals are key, because even in your house, you can't turn on the light without electricity. Same in the body. If we're going to have a light that burns bright, we have to be clean, detox, and we have to have electrolytes, minerals. Then the patches work way better. And then you get into the structured water like hydrogen water. H3O2, structured water found in watery foods like grapes, berries, melons, celery, right? Peppers, apples, foods full of water, structured water, organic, not sprayed with 9, 10, 11, 12 pesticides, right? And so this is the whole thing. You have to keep your body cleaned out, living waters. You have to have structured water in your body, and you got to get rid of the radiation pollution. You have to protect yourself, because we are swimming in it. It's kind of suicidal in a way to the whole planet.
Well, we're seeing it. My good buddy's been an AFib 18 times. They've talked him into do a heart ablation surgery. It took him about 6 weeks to get in and get that scheduled last February. Has it helped him? Yeah, a little bit, but he's still having problems. When he leaves the town, he goes out into the desert and gets away from the valley. No problem. He feels fantastic.
Yeah.
And now it's affecting his kids. And we're seeing these towers put next to schools. Wow. Absolute insanity. And guys, if you're listening, you're joining us here in the Whole Body Detox show. I'm listening. We're talking with Savvy Vargas about a patch that can help activate your body's own innate ability to protect you against this. So you definitely want to go listen to episode number 67. And then you might want to listen to, I think it's episode 50 with Dr. Martin Paul, where he goes into great detail about what happens in our cells when these frequencies, whether it's 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, that affects us all. And I have a meter down here. I've started metering people's cell phones, and they're like, their eyes just get large because they had no idea. They're carrying in their pocket. We know it destroys sperm cells.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know exactly what it's doing to women and their fertility, but we know it's doing something. It's hard, he said, to pinpoint exactly what yet, but he's working on it. And so also we're raising some funds to go to court. And so we, Idahoans for Safe Technology, go to idahoansforsafetechnology.org. You can learn all about what's happening there. You'll see Hank's story under health impacts, and under science, health impacts. You'll see what happened to all of his bees, what happened to him. But get this, Savvy. Now, you know how long it takes to get in and get a heart ablation surgery?
No.
18 months.
You'd be dead by then.
Now, 18 months, because there's so many people, all of a sudden, healthy people, 35, 40, 45, 50, healthy individuals, never had a problem. All of a sudden, boom, they've got a heart problem. And it's $150,000 to have this surgery. That really doesn't fix the problem. This is a big deal. This is a pandemic that is happening already, and most officials, fortunately, our Ada County commissioners, they get it. We just stopped a cell tower out in Star. And but there's a lot of guys, there's so many going in, we just can't, it's hard to keep up.
Oh yeah, they're popping up like mushrooms. All right, so 150,000 for that surgery. This patch, a whopping $100 a month, $3.33 a day. Ooh, $100 a month. I promise you, these people can afford that. You have the money, just move it from over here, from Dutch Brothers $5 coffees over here to protecting yourself. It's pay now or pay later. And by the way, I believe we have recorded not once, but twice, maybe 3 times, Dr. Harmon testing the patch on people. Call their phone. They got their phone. They're holding it on themselves. Somebody calls it, no patch. Muscle test, weak. Patch them up. Call the phone again. Boom. Put it on the phone. The patch on the phone. Hold it close. Boom. Strong. So those of you that believe in muscle testing, we got those recorded.
Yes, and guys, I'm going to insert, you can't see this on the podcast or the radio show, but if you go to the Facebook page, Living Waters Wellness Center on Facebook, I'll post just that one segment of Dr. Harmon showing you what happens when you put these activation patches on your body and you hold a cell phone. It really helps mitigate the damage significantly to your body. And that's what we got to do, is you got to mitigate the damage the best you can.
Schmidt says that it helps block 5G, 4G, 3G inside of our body. Well, how does it do that? Well, it triggers the release of the AHK copper peptide. And now we get copper peptide in our body. And the configuration with that AHK copper peptide helps block those from entering our body. So I have a video that I did in my office that I'm going to show you how that works. You do not have to be a healthcare provider to do that, to do this testing. So here we go.
All right, this is Hannah. Hannah, do you mind if we show this video to other people, like on social media, website, other places?
That's fine.
Is that okay? Okay. Today we're going to be testing the X39's ability to block 5G, 4G, other EMFs inside the body because of the fact that it elevates the AHK copper peptide. How are we going to do that? We're going to find a strong muscle on Hannah first. And then I'm going to have her hold her phone up to her chest while our other assistant, Cassie, who's out of the film, she's over there though, and we're going to have her hold it up to her chest and call her cell phone. Then we'll test that muscle, see how it goes weak or not, and then we'll put the X49 on after the phone is away, call that phone again, and see the difference. What we want to look for is that her body is not affected by that 5G anymore, causing her to go weak. It's not just this muscle. The muscle is just an indication of the harmful effects it's having on her body. Interestingly enough, research has shown that there are certain things that show up in the bloodstream when we're exposed to 5G, especially those who are electrosensitive. That's how the study was done on this patch. So Hannah, let's test that muscle. Go ahead, and that's rock solid. Now grab your phone and hold it on your chest, and then Cassie's going to call your phone. Is your ringer on? Okay. All right, now it's ringing, and I want you to hold this as hard as you can. Hard as you can. Hannah, stop faking it. No, I'm kidding. So there's not very much strength there. Okay, set that down again. Now we're going to put the X49 patch on her neck right here. And now grab that phone again. And Cassie, go ahead and call her phone. It's calling. I hear the ring. Now push. Now push. Now push. Rock solid.
Wow.
This happens with other things. I can test muscles of gait, like right arm, left leg, and have people try to resist when their cell phone's working. That doesn't work either. So there's a lot of protection that happens with the X49 patch from LifeWave. There are other patches as well. This patch also elevates a different type of stem cell as opposed to the X39 that raises a certain type of stem cell. So you get a lot of benefit from using this X49. So thank you for your participation today, Hannah. Appreciate it.
Ideally, in a perfect world, we'd have these 5G towers would not go up anywhere. And the big towers, the 2G, 3G, 4G, where those, whatever, those should be away from people. They shouldn't be next to homes. They should be the minimum, a half a mile away from homes. It's the minimum.
And they're not.
And they're not. You look around Boise, they're right next to homes. They're on schools.
Now, imagine this. Say you used to love to go on cruises. Oh man, I'm going on a cruise. I'm going on every excursion. This is going to be great. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Now they got these goofy 5G towers on the ship.
Insane.
That ruins who wants to take a cruise now? I'd have to have this with me, all my patches. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, let's remember this. Just for the fun of it, I've got this particular patch too, David Schmidt built, the Eon patch. What does it do? Lowers inflammation, head to toe, lupus, Crohn's, rheumatoid. It also what? Relaxes the autonomic nervous system because everybody's adrenal glands are under attack. So I've got that to help me out. Oh, let's not forget glutathione, the king master antioxidant to help what? Detox, like living waters, right? So if you're on a detox cleanse, you want to boost your glutathione. You want to boost it anyway because we're under attack by radiation poisoning. So we have all the tools and more coming, right, to help. Okay, this is a big whopping $86 a month to the door. What does it cost to be sick? Because David's out there fighting the 5G towers and they're still popping up like mushrooms. I think they put them up at night because I never see them being built. It's just like I drive down the street on Monday, there's nothing. Friday, there's one there. When do they put these things up? In the dark?
Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad what's happening.
Pop up like mushrooms. They're all over the place. Not to mention the pollution in space from all their goofy satellites.
Yeah, we're getting. I take my meter out now, and even with just if I'm away from the building, I'd have my phone off. I'm just out in the middle. I mean, you still are picking up a lot of radiation, and so if you're listening to this show, you're experiencing brain fog. You've got inflammation. I mean, those are all things that you want to reverse so you can live your best life. I mean, look we're meant to live on Earth like Jack LaLanne did. I get people come in here, and you see this, Savvy. They're 60, they're 70, they're 80, whatever, or 50, and they go, well, I've got this, I've got that, I've got this. I walk kind of slow, I can't work out, I can't get down on my hands and knees to play with my grandkids. But other than that, I'm perfectly healthy. Other than that, I'm looking at him like, are you? That's just the definition of insanity. It's like, I'm perfectly healthy except for 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Meanwhile, my dad, I got to tell you about my dad. When you gave me these patches, I remember my wife, who's very intuitive, she grabbed them, she held on to them, and she goes, oh, really good stuff. You should pay attention. I should? Okay. Sends them to my dad. My dad's 89 now, and Dad has this leg at night that was just shake uncontrollably. And he'd take, you name it, he tried all kinds of stuff, wouldn't stop it. Dad gets those patches, and 4 days later, he calls me, he says, how much? Keep them coming. Or no, it was keep them coming, and then how much? He didn't care the price. and to this day, my dad, in 2.5 years, 89 years old, and my mother, 83, have not missed a day because they know they've done. I mean, they're up on their mountain, up on the top of this big mountain, 80 acres. He still cuts his own wood.
Wow.
He does all the stuff. He's very active. So's my mom. I mean, these guys they're going to council meetings and commissioners meetings and trying to affect change. And they're active in their church. They're on the board. I mean, they're doing all these things because they can. They can still think.
Yeah.
They still have all their faculties above them. They can drive their own car. They're not sitting in an assisted living center existing. They're living their life. And
Yes,
my
and
point-
that's a goal. That's one of my goals, is to take these patches into these assisted living centers where these people are starting to get Alzheimer's. They get dumped off. Nobody comes to visit them. You know, once a month, maybe they get a visitor and they just get lonely and, you know, they die. Well, can you imagine if you get them back in, you get stem cells rocking again in these older bodies. They get their memories back, they get their strength back, and back out, and they get another 20, 30 years of life. When I interviewed David Schmidt back in December of 2020, I also asked him this. I said, hey, David, I just finished a book on a guy out of Brazil that lived to be 114 years old without your patches. And man, I'm telling you, he looked like he was 70. He looked good. What do you think? If we live like that guy and we use your patches, can we get to 150? What do you think? 150? He goes, oh, 150 years. You got to think bigger than 150. I think in terms of biblical years, he says. I'm like, you mean like pre-flood, like Methuselah type of thing? Or, and he's like, I said, well, what's your personal goal? He's like, at least 500. That's how this guy thinks. At least 500 years old. And so I'm like, you know, whether that happens or not, that's kind of thinking I like.
Well, you look at it,
Quality
Savvy.
of life.
Look what Jack, I compare normal. Here's my normal. Jack LaLanne, age 70, swimming across the bay in San Francisco, pulling what, 65 people in rowboats?
Yeah.
His teeth. At 94, I'm at a convention and this guy's on the stage, and you would have thought he was 44, not 94. Sharp, on spot. I mean, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah,
He was interviewed on many shows. I'm watching this guy wherever he's being interviewed. You know, he juiced every day. We asked him at this convention, we said, well, Jack, do you take any supplements? Oh, yeah. I take a handful every morning. You know, he says, and he said, you know, did he like exercising? Not really. But
You know what he used to say? This is what he used to say. Jack LaLanne used to say, you know how hard it is to get up on a cold morning to go work out when I'm lying next to a hot woman? I mean, he used to say, and then of course he would say, if man makes it, don't eat it. And then he used to say, if it tastes great, spit it out. And then he did 1,000, and he's got the record to this day, 1,033 straight full push-ups on live television in 22 minutes. 1,033 push-ups. And then the jumping jack is named after Jack LaLanne. And so there you go. There's some history on that guy.
That's our normal, folks. If you want to be normal, go check out stemcellpatch.net. We'll send you out a little sample of patches to try, but you'll get a little video there, and we'll send you some more information. Stemcellpatch.net. We're talking with Savvy Vargas, the Stem Cell Activation Patch LifeWave company. And guys, you definitely, this is something you need to have.
20-year, basically a 20-year company, not new.
Yeah.
Not new. But stem cell activation is new.
Right.
And that's a whole game changer, because like everything else, oxygen saturation rates, nitric oxide, collagen levels, everything with age seems to want to go down, including stem cell production. So by the time you hit 60, you're like 90% out. This way, you get it back. Young, fresh stem cell activity again, contractors to rebuild and repair tissue. And now we have people that were bald, growing hair, gray hair turning brown, COPD gone, multiple sclerosis, not making claims, just telling you what I heard on before and after live recorded interviews. StartX39.com. Go to StartX39.com, look around. There's all kinds of recorded interviews on there. Okay. And see for yourself. All right. We don't pay people to lie. And me personally, in this valley, I have I have 9,400 people, 38 doctors using them in their clinics. If you're alive, you're a human from Earth, and you're still alive, the patches work, period. Now, you want them to work really good, detox, and nutrient up. Just what David said. What was it? Your rule number 4?
Yeah, the perfect nutrition.
Yeah.
So rule 1, clean the colon. Rule 2, Law 2, clean the small intestine. Number 3, clean the blood. Now you can get everything out to the cells, right? And what these activation patches are doing. So think about it. You get a wound. You're a weekend warrior out riding your dirt bike, your mountain bike, you're jogging, you're whatever. You fall down, you break a leg, you fracture a femur. This just happened with a buddy of mine. Fractured his tibia riding a dirt bike. I said, I've got the solution. You need this activation because, you know, as we're aging, it takes a lot longer to heal. You've experienced that. You guys listening to the show, you all know it takes so much more time compared to a 2-year-old, my grandson. I mean, he'll heal like boom, right?
Yes. Yes.
16, boom, you heal.
Yes.
No, as we age, longer and longer. So what do? We get all this nutrition into the body, give it the contractor, what you're saying, this activation contractor.
Yep.
And now we've got an ability to heal the body naturally.
Think about this. Dr. William Wong talked about this. Dr. William Wong puts out proteolytic enzymes to eat up fibrin in the body. And Dr. Wong will say, by the end of your life, what ends up getting you is fibroses, right? Whether it be in the lungs, in the gut, whatever. X39 stem cell activation patch, the contractor patch, it boosts GHK copper peptides. And there's a whole book just on GHK copper peptides. One of the main things it does is it boosts collagen in the body while breaking down scar tissue, whether it's a scar on the outside or fibrin inside, as in fibroses like in the lungs, COPD, asthma, whatever, in the lungs, and the gut tissue. You talked about it.
Right.
You know, in the embryo, what comes first? You get the spine and then the gut, right? So collagen production boosting. Well, the body will go in and say a woman's had 7, 8 children and the uterus, bladder, and everything has dropped. Instead of having surgery where they try to put a mesh in there to hold everything up, you boost your collagen back, the glue that holds you together. And you can just tighten up all the organs again. Then eventually the skin tightens again and you get the beauty part of it. So you get the health part of it and the beauty part of it afterwards via collagen while reducing scar tissue. And then, of course, you can take proteolytic enzymes as well.
Right.
Continue to break down scar
Well,
tissue.
just the few pictures I've seen, Savvy, with Dr. Harmon and a few others, I mean, their skin in the last 2 years is just radically different.
Yeah, and the hair.
And the hair as well. Absolutely. And wound healing. My sister had foot surgery.
Yeah.
And it wasn't healing. Lots of pain. The medication wasn't cutting it. Wasn't healing very fast. Someone says, go see your brother. Get those stem cell activation patches. So after she heard my dad's story, she says, okay, I will. Puts it on. I mean, it was like, boom. She's showing her feet on Facebook. Look what's happening.
On Facebook? Wow.
What's happening to my feet? My feet are healing finally, because she'd been complaining about it on Facebook, saying, my gosh, it's horrible, it's painful. And then all of a sudden, it came through. And within a week, I mean, it was a significant change in just a week.
I just saw another one like that recently. Again, we have so many different recorded before and afters that, you know, you end up running across some of the same type of things over and over again. But when you think about, you know, pluripotent stem cells is what they're called. That means universal.
Right.
They can become any kind of tissue. So you're bound to get any kind of imaginable testimonial, you know, everything from the top of the head to the toes and everything in between, because pluripotent stem cells can become any type of tissue. And then, you know, the body knows their foot is injured, so it sends the contractors that inflammation. And let's remember that inflammation, they're attracted to inflammation, but inflammation can kill them off too. So if a person got an injection for like $7,000, and let's just pick a number, say there were, you know, 200,000 stem cells in the injection or more, you could lose like a third of them out of the gate just from inflammation. Whereas our patch is our own stem cells, time released every day for 12 hours, every day, every day, every day, every day. And people are like, well, like your sister, well, my foot's better. Can I stop using the patch now? I'm like, Well, you can, but you know, you want to stay a juicy grape or dry up like a raisin? Because you know, for $3 and change a day, I can continue to have contractors forever.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of this, working for you on behalf of you, taking your body's own innate intelligence.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
healing your body. And it's subtle. And like we've said, we've had a couple of years with these, and just watching over time, some people have noticed something in 4 or 5 days. But some people, like Dr. Harmon's story, I mean, my goodness.
Oh yeah. So you have to think in terms of true healing here.
Right.
True repair. It takes a little bit longer than a drug, but the drug doesn't heal.
Right. No, it suppresses.
You know, so you know, your knee hurts and you take Tylenol, which will destroy your liver and your kidneys, but your knee feels better right away, 20 minutes. Well, you know, true repair and regeneration is a little bit longer, but if we're going to be David Schmidt and live to be 500, what do I care if it takes 2 years to really repair for real?
Yeah.
Well, if you go to Hippocrates in Florida with Brian Clement and Wigmore, you know, who started that thing down there, you know, people are going there all the time. Guess how long it takes to heal from really heavy challenges? 2 years. 2 years. But in this case, they mail them to your house and you put them on like a Band-Aid. Okay, you need to change your diet. Make sure you have minerals from plants, not rocks. Make sure you have plant-derived minerals. Go see David, clean out the GI tract, do a liver cleanse, kill the parasites off. Yes, Americans have parasites too. Right? Clean up and then put your magical little Band-Aid on every day, 12 hours, like clockwork. Now that's the contractor, right? But hey, 5G, guess what I hear all the time? I'm just tired all the time. I'm not sleeping. I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. Now I'm starting to get like anxiety. I get hit with all this stress and I get anxiety. Now I really can't sleep. Well, how much radiation pollution do you think is involved in that?
Oh, there's so much. You know, and we go out and we tell people, hey, just turn off your Wi-Fi. Move your cell phone out of your room.
Get it out of your room.
And they'll go like, oh, that helped. Yeah. You just can't underestimate the power that's coming out of these cell phones and the towers and the Wi-Fi. Well, now people are wearing these little Bluetooth earbuds. They're just as bad as having the phone to your head.
Yeah, let me put them on both ears and microwave my brain all day.
Exactly.
David Schmidt, the guy that invented these patches, was being interviewed by a gal who has a health show. And she was interviewing him on that. And they're talking about all this different stuff to do with health. And she's interviewing David. And then she says, I know I got to get rid of these earbud things because I need a new system here. And he goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, you need to throw those away.
Yeah. No, yeah, they're so bad. I mean, we have some little devices down here that can make it a little more coherent. But at the end of the day, guys, we're so overwhelmed with the amount of toxicity coming to us. How do I know that? Well, I've been measuring antioxidant status for 20 years. August is one of the worst months, February in the winter. But what's happening? You get the forest fires, they're spraying stuff in the air. And last year, we saw antioxidant scores drop by 40 to 50%. Last summer was the worst summer ever. So what's that mean? So to put that in perspective, if you don't understand what an antioxidant is, if you ever cut open an apple or a banana and you see it start to brown, that rotting process is what's happening in your cells. The cells are getting oxidized. They call it free radicals or oxidation. Antioxidants are vitamins and minerals, vitamin C, vitamin E, CoQ10, alpha lipoic acid. These are all nutrients. And the glutathione patch is going to activate them in your body. For example, we have here with the LifeWave.
Yeah.
We can activate, ingest, get the antioxidants up. But listen, we're being bombarded. My scores, and I'm doing a lot of stuff, drop as well.
Yeah.
The best person I have, she scores on this machine. She's the only one I've ever had score as high as she scored. I mean, she's off the charts. way higher, 30% higher than Dr. Oz, who's been scanned. And she dropped 40%, bam, that month.
Yeah.
So we're all under attack. So what do? Well, we got to keep living life. So we do the best we can. We buy organic, we cleanse our body, we follow these 4 natural laws. And the beauty of what I like about the simplicity and the inexpensiveness of this product is amazing. We mentioned $150,000 for a heart ablation surgery, right? You could buy 125 years worth of patches, be well, have robust health, be playing with your grandkids, having memory where you can have a conversation with your spouse and your kids, and be living your best life, not existing.
Number 1 cause of bankruptcy in America, medical bills. Number 1 cause. So it is literally, as David just said, you're living your best life on purpose. I'm eating this instead of that on purpose. I went and had a 10-day cleanse on purpose. I use plant-derived minerals. I use enzymes. I use herbs on purpose because it's pay now or pay later. Nobody gets away. So you might as well pay now, day to day, minimal, rather than $150,000 for a heart surgeon to make you even worse. Or back surgery, which about 60% of the time makes you worse. And by the way, if you get a knee replacement surgery, those aren't forever. They wear out too, and you got to get another one.
Go under anesthesia, toxify your liver. I mean, it's not as simple as people make it out to be, having these, and they're expensive, as you mentioned, to do that. And then you're still limited. I healed, 30 years ago, I tore my ACL and my meniscus. And that was when my life really changed in that year, because my daughter was vaccine injured. I got injured by playing basketball. And I met a homeopath, and he says, David, you can't do surgery right now. Do not jab your daughter with another shot. You'll kill her. We're going to show you how to recover her. We did. But then I went on nutrition. I went on a product called Life Pack. And 2 years later, I went into surgery. This is how powerful the body is. I went into surgery after taking this pack twice a day. It's costing me, back in those days, I think it was costing me $2 a day, right? I had people tell me, oh, it's too expensive. Let's take that stuff. I took it. I told the doc, I said, Doc, save the meniscus. I know it's tore. We have the x-rays, but look, save it. Don't take it out completely. Scrape it, stitch it, whatever you guys do. No problem, David. Get out of surgery. I says, Doc, how was the knee? He said, David, perfect. No. The meniscus, how was it? How's it look? He goes, like brand new. I go, no. Did you operate the right knee? He goes, yes. He's laughing. He has a video. I have the video, David. You couldn't ask for a better meniscus. I go, really? I went, oh. Those vitamins actually do what that scientist in 1991 told me they did.
Yeah.
They help rebuild and restore. And that hit me like a brick bomb. And I thought, oh my God, everyone should be on nutritional supplements. And what I'm saying to the audience today, guys, listen, you need to try these patches out, and not just for a week or a month, but you need to give it a good shot, because they do work. There's how many clinical trials? I mean, you guys have got a lot of patents.
Oh, geez. The guy's got also like 132 patents.
Amazing. Modern day Nikola Tesla.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just struck a chord. You're talking about ligaments, tendons. What are they mainly built of? Collagen.
Right.
And what does GHK copper peptides boost? Collagen. It's a glue.
Right.
That holds us together. So,
Right.
I mean, you hit on it. Hit on it, and the 5G, unfortunately, right now is not going away. We have a patch, X39. At least protect yourself.
Guys, you got to learn about this stuff. Go to stemcellpatch.net, fill out the little form, watch the short little video. We'll get back to you. We'll send you out some other information. If you want to try these patches, really, you can try it risk-free. They're really, I mean, there's no downside to trying them. It's not going to affect your medications. It's not going to any other part of your body. It's just taking your body's natural innate ability to heal from within naturally. And that's what we've been preaching down here at Living Waters for 13 years and 9 months and a couple of days.
Just think of sunlight. Sunlight hits
Right.
the skin, you end up manufacturing vitamin D3. Light therapy. It's the future.
It is. Now, I remember seeing, and these are some pretty amazing stories. And again, we're not making any claims or saying this is going to happen to you. You'll have the same exact experience. But as I recall, there was another doctor that kind of beat himself up pretty good skiing and had a bunch of surgeries, broke a bunch of bones. And as I recall, he was sharing a story, and not only of him healing his broken bone, that Dr. Court, I believe it was, but didn't he also have a client that was paraplegic and he competed, had a shoulder issue? And didn't the guy get, as I recall, I may be wrong, but correct me, didn't he start eventually having some feeling where he was previously paralyzed? Didn't that start to happen to him?
Yeah, we got a bunch of those, and just straight up, just flat out regular neuropathy, where they can't feel their feet.
Right.
We've got those stories, and the guy you're thinking of is Jason Fowler, who is an Ironman champion, but he's paralyzed from the waist down.
Right.
So everything he does is upper body, like shoulders,
Right.
and he ended up blowing out his shoulder. Well, this is a problem for a guy that
Right.
is paralyzed from the waist down, and he used to get, I don't know if he got cortisone shots or what, but it would take him a couple of months to recover. And then somebody let him try the patches one day. I don't remember who it was. And instead of 2 months, it was 2 weeks. Back out he was again. Now he's a spokesman now for LifeWave. Another one at the conference you and I did in Boise, Val Palmer's wife, who shredded her ankle and was scheduled for surgery. She used a 3-patch system. I think it was glutathione, carnosine, and X39. I forget the 3. But 3-patch system that she had on that day when we interviewed her on stage, and she canceled that surgery. Now that is a little Hall of Famer right there.
That's amazing.
She had shredded her ankle. But we're talking about collagen again, right? Inflammation of soft tissue and ligaments, tendons, collagen production. So you can use stem cell activation and lots of vitamin C, because you got to have vitamin C also to build collagen.
Right.
Once you throw this together, cancel the surgery, right? I don't know how much she saved, but she probably saved a penny.
Guys, learn more about this at stemcellpatch.net. We'll get you some information. There's a little video over there you can watch, and we'll reach out to you once you fill out that little form, and you can learn all about it there. Hey, Savvy, now let's talk about brain health. I know there's a combination that I've seen others talk about on brain health, and I'm now applying that to one of my family members. Let's talk about that. How does, you mentioned earlier, this helps brain.
Yeah.
What's happening there?
Well, we have a particular patch called carnosine, which carnosine is a nutrient that is stored in skeletal muscle for strength and endurance. It boosts the mitochondria function of the heart muscle, but then it goes into the brain and helps break down and remove amyloid plaque, which leads to dementia, Alzheimer's. That's one patch. Then we have glutathione patch, as we mentioned, the master antioxidant. It boosts it by not 30%, 300%. Well, that can chelate out heavy metals out of the brain and other tissue, right? Then X39 contractors can rebuild tissue in the brain. And let's remember, what's good for the brain is good for the eye. What's good for the eye is good for the brain. So if we can rebuild the brain, we can also help the eyes, which are attached to the brain via the optic nerve, right? So we have all this stuff for the brain as well. David Schmidt, inventor, is working on age reversal frequency water. Here we go with the water again, specific to tissue, like the brain, like the lungs, like the heart. That's in the works. As we go forward, everybody's going to find out it's all about the water, which is why I worry about 5G boiling the water in my body.
Right.
Boiling the water. That's a good analogy for what it kind of does.
Right.
Boiling us and screwing up our frequency in our body, because we are electrical and magnetic and frequency light creatures. So we're mostly light. When you get down to quantum, we're mostly light, which is why we're using our own light to heal ourselves. It's a brilliant thing. Painless. So does that cover anything as regards brain health?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Really important for our brains, right? That's one of the biggest complaints that people come into the office is, of course, brain fog, which is transverse colon. We clean out the colon. Some people more aging, we see all of a sudden, okay, can't recall names, can't recall events. That starts happening. And so it's pretty cool that we have something that can use our body's own innate intelligence to activate, rebuild, restore. I'm pretty excited about this for all our clients.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Transverse colon related to the brain.
You get that. So, too many people, you guys listen to the show, 95% of you listening to the show are constipated. You may be pooping once a day, but most of you aren't. Some are pooping every other day. But think about this. Even pooping once a day, that's not enough.
Not enough.
What's happening between the other 2 meals? If you're eating 3 meals a day and you're only pooping once, you've got stuff rotting and putrefying in the gut.
Oh, yeah.
That's seeping into the tissue, getting into the bloodstream, and now your blood is turbid. It's thick.
Yeah.
It's like a milkshake.
Yeah.
What are they doing down at the palaces of the sick, aka the hospitals? Well, they have surgeons in there who can do heart valve replacements. Why are they doing so many? Because your blood is it's thick like a milkshake, and that valve is working really hard. And eventually, over time, it says, I'm done. I'm wore out. So they can replace those, but it's very, very expensive. There is risk. Let's clean up that body. Learn about that at livingwaterscleanse.com. And then learn about these patches. Go over to stemcellpatch.net. Get you the perfect nutrition, clean out that body, and I don't care what age you are, what issue you've got going on, you have the ability to heal. We've seen thousands of miracles here at Living Waters over the years. People coming in with wheelchairs can't walk. People can barely talk. We had a gal with Alzheimer's. You love this, Savvy. She could not talk at all. Day 5, she began speaking. My head snapped around. I looked at her and I go, whoa, you've had quite a change. She goes, yes. Before today, I wanted to kill myself because she couldn't put words together.
Well, think about this.
I wish then we would have had these as a further activation switch for her. I think she's passed on. But if she would have had this to add on in addition to everything else she was doing, imagine the possibilities. And of course, we're always seeing the possibilities with some of the. You guys reach out to stemcellpatch.net and you send us a message. We'll get back to you and we'll give you some of this information so that you can make a fully informed decision about it. But the possibilities of the body healing naturally, it's gold. It's just gold.
You can, and if you want to, I don't know if you have a chat there, but you can put in my phone number or my email. These people can contact me too. Okay. If you can't get a hold of David, get a hold of me. I'll share it with you.
Yeah.
I'll share it with you. The health begins and ends in the gut. We know it begins and ends in the gut. And they are spraying everything with glyphosate and atrazine. Everything is sprayed out there. And then you got GMO foods, leaky gut syndrome. The body's like a juicer, a food processor. The reason for eating is to absorb nutrients. If you're caked up with 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds of debris, you eat all you want, you're still malnourished.
Yeah.
You got no absorption. How can somebody be 500 pounds and malnourished?
Yeah.
They can't. They can't.
We see it all the time down here. We see them, and their antioxidant scores are in the toilet. They're down, barely registering. And then we clean them out, give them nutrition. And what I love about these activation patches, guys, this is anti-aging. This is healing. This is natural, and it covers all the bases, and it definitely feels that fourth natural law.
The guy that discovered the GHK copper peptides, his website is called Reverse Aging. So imagine if you were bald and now you have hair. That's kind of like reverse aging.
Yeah, and we've seen it.
You couldn't see for squat. Now you throw your glasses away. That's like reverse aging.
Yeah.
right? And so in some cases, it's like reverse aging,
Yeah,
not
no,
just
it really
anti-aging.
is. No,
Yeah.
it's awesome. We're really
Quality
excited
of life.
about this. Hey, Savvy, I think we've covered
Yeah.
everything we need to today.
Yeah,
Guys,
I mean,
thanks for listening so much. Again, if you want to, first of all, learn about the 4 natural laws of healing, go over to livingwaterscleanse.com, click on the link, 4 natural laws. Have your whole family watch that video. In fact, and then if it resonates, come to see us. And if you want to come see us, you can't come until you watch that 68-minute webinar. Sorry, I want people to be on the same team. I want you educated. I want you making these decisions for yourself, not me telling you something. I want you to understand how that body's basically working and how we apply those 4 natural laws. And the beauty of what we share with you today, what Savvy brought to the table here, not only this episode, but you go back to episode 67 and learn the rest about the X39 activating patches. This is a beautiful way to heal the body naturally and to have effectual change so that you can play with your grandkids, go bike riding, walk wherever you want to walk, hike Mount Bora, whatever you want to do. I mean, the possibilities are amazing when we clean out the body and give it the perfect contractors. That's where the activation
clean and rebuild.
Yes. So guys, all the show has been recorded. We went overtime, obviously. We always do with Savvy because he's got such wonderful information. So go to the podcast, Whole Body Detox Show. We're on all the major platforms, or just simply go over to wholebodydetoxshow.com. All the episodes are there. We've got 5 episodes on 5G, what's happening with cell towers. Very important for you to know. Do support our friends over at idahoansforsafetechnology.org. Look at what's happening to radiation, to people right here in the Treasure Valley. See what's happening to the bee population. This is affecting us all. And this is a way for you to protect your own body within. And Savvy, I think that's the most beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for doing this show again, David. You were a real hero against the 5G in this valley. So not only are you cleaning out bodies, you're an educator. The real definition of doctor was teacher. And so in that sense, we could all be doctors if we give people this type of education, because, we work with light now. And how do you get rid of the darkness? You shine the light on it, right? So take these people out of the darkness, shine the light on them, and let's extend lives, quality of life, and extend it while we go.
That's right. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a blessed week.